Welcome back. Great night to you all. I hope that you guys have all had a day that was heart-filling. And I hope that you've been able to be passionate about everything that you think, do, and say. Heartfully. Okay? And that's really important in these times. Making sure that your thoughts are helpful to yourself and not hurtful to your being. It's really important. So guys, I welcome you back to finish off Wise Up to Rise Up, which is my third book. Like I've mentioned before, this is the first one, Turning Hell into Heaven, which shows you how to turn your mental state of hell into a heavenly state. Second book, Your Best You, The Choice is Yours, shows you how to apply certain things in your life to become a better being. Okay, some things that you wouldn't look at normally, all right? Well, the third book of the transformation is Wise Up to Rise Up. All right? The book about energy. Last night I came out, and now this book is copywritten 2021 under my name, Tobi Staples. All rights reserved. Last night we did the first 3 chapters, so I'll just remind you of those quickly before I jump into chapter 4. So we did Wise Up, we did Give and Take, we did Lowered Energy. So tonight's read is going to be to finish off the book. We're going to do chapter 4, which is Restoring Balance. 5, Feel to Heal. 6, Rise Up. And then I'll read the special note at the end of the book. All right, so I welcome you all back. You know, I want you guys to all know that I'm proud of you for even taking the deep dive into your own being. Because it's not always easy to do. Especially if you've had a difficult life. And especially if you're carrying trauma, pain, suffering of any kind. Okay? But I believe in you all. And everything is possible. You could make absolutely anything possible for yourself. But the key to making anything possible is stay in your heart. Allow that to be the governing force of your life out of love. Love for yourself. Love for your experience. Love for life. And love for humanity. We're all connected. All right, guys. So I'm going to jump into chapter 4. Restoring Balance. And I'm on the computer again tonight. So I'm not going to see who's out there hopping on, whatever. So I welcome you all, whoever's joining. Whether you're here on the live or whether you're on a replay. All right, I welcome you. All right, so chapter 4 of Wise Up to Rise Up by Tobi Staples, copywritten 2021, Restoring Balance. By this part of the book, you should have fully grasped that you must wise up to how you operate as an individual in order to understand your give and take of life. You understand what happens when you have a lower frequency than what you need to function. Now realize that you need to restore some harmony to your life. How do I know you need some balance? Very simple. You have read up until this chapter. This is all my own personal experience of life that I know if shared will help many restore harmony within themselves and will ripple effect in all areas of life. Once you do all the work to achieve this state, well, then you have, okay. Once you do all the work to achieve this state, well then, you have to do it from there. All you have to do from there is maintain it. Living in this world that we do, with so much distraction from what truly matters, is what I feel aids our imbalance. Knowledge is increasing at a rapid rate, and so is the accessibility of it. There's a great shift that is bringing so much understanding and enlightenment to the world. Humans are awakening to their true nature of existence. The thought of it brings so much joy, truly, as I realize that we are on the dawn of a new horizon for all the generations to come. We come from love and return to love. During our existence, we are given all that we need within our body to function fully to our fullest potentials. That is our true harmony of our being. True harmony of your body would mean that you would have no force to put to anything. You would manifest all of your ideas quite easily as you are in a state of higher frequency. Yes, we put energy into our ideas, but we are not supposed to have to put any effort into it. There is a state of being, when in balance, that you can create everything with little or no effort at all. You simply think it into existence. You are a creation of what you have thought into being. In order to truly restore your harmony, you must first identify what is throwing you off to begin with. I think by this part of the book, you've been able to identify quite a bit about yourself. And let me take this opportunity to remind you that you are an individual before any title beside your name. So this is all work that you must do for yourself. Yes, there are tools to assist you to do the work, but you truly have to dig down deep. Stop looking at what everybody else is doing and take ownership of what you're doing. What you feel is keeping you away from your balance must be fixed by you. Be realistic with it. Don't keep making excuses for yourself, and don't blame. Allow yourself to feel whatever trauma or fear that is blocking you from your heart with the intention to heal it. It is your conditioning and programming of your family, friends, or society as a whole that keeps you unstable. Is it your conditioning and programming of your family, friends, or society as a whole that keeps you unstable? Do you fear judgment and non-approval from the people in your life? Are you living your life with expectations and disappointments building up? Do you feel that you aren't where you should be in life? Are you misguided in believing that this world sucks and that existence is hell? Are you suffering with doubt, self-hate, anger, shame, guilt, or denial? I hate to break it to you, but if you said yes to any of those questions, you're out of balance. Time to eliminate those things from your life. For generations, we have been misled about the true nature of our human body, taught to believe that the brain is what governs our life, taught that we must strive to achieve our true highest potentials. How messed up is that? Look around as the earth is in an emergency right now. You will see the physical manifestation of what imbalance looks like to its fullest. This is why so many of us are awakening during this time, in the attempts to restore some much needed harmony to earth. It all starts with restoring the balance within yourself. Then you can assist with the restoration of well-being for earth and all its beings. I personally lived out of balance for many years, in a state of depression. That attached me to painful addictions. Understanding the importance of balance, I make it a priority from day to day. It was of my own doing that I was not balanced. When you are able to accept that you are doing it to yourself, then you can change it. As long as you have a bad outlook and are ungrateful for life, you will remain imbalanced. It is as simple as that. I knew that I had better figure out how to restore my balance. I had to do a lot of work within myself to really identify all of the things that were blocking me from achieving it. When you really do your homework within yourself, there is no way that you can remain functioning the way you have allowed yourself to any longer. I made so many drastic lifestyle changes in order to achieve some balance. Personally, I had to make huge changes. I had realized that I was incapable of spending time alone, solely due to the fact that I didn't love myself. Wanted to be surrounded by people because then I could take the focus off of myself. Not a wise choice. I had to make a very harsh decision of self-isolating in order to figure myself out. A guaranteed way to get to know yourself would be a guaranteed way to get to know yourself would be to spend time alone. I feel this is the only way to do it. Think about this for a moment. Think about this for a moment. Do you enjoy your own company? When you are alone, are you constantly seeking a distraction instead of sitting in silence? Are you even able to sit in silence with yourself without your mind taking control? Do you always have to have the TV or radio on because you can't handle silence? These are the things that I had to ask myself in order to make the most profound changes in my life. Think about that. You have some work to do. When you want to restore harmony within, understand your own frequency. Are you allowing it to work for you or against you? If allowing it to work against you, then you had better change it. I'm forever grateful for my understanding of this. You can't blame anyone or make any excuses for it. You're the only one in control. If you choose to mismanage your own energy supply and don't stay balanced, then it will result in the breaking down of your body. This is why we get sick to begin with, and we don't even realize it. We have become dependent on the medical system to tell us all that is not working right within our body. How different treatment for any ailment would be if treated in the attempts to achieve balance of the totality of the system, of our system. Instead, its focus solely on the disease within the function of the body. How different would it be if we actually realized that any disease or illness was created solely out of the mismanagement of our life force and our thoughts? We probably would strive as a collective to restore and maintain balance within our life. Now that we are aware of this, it is time for some drastic changes to be made. Imagine a world with no suffering, due to the collective efforts of humans to remain in harmony with our blueprint for life. Nature has a balance of existence, and so do we. This is how I truly understand things to be. One of the many disastrous things is that we have been out of whack with our true nature for generations. We can see that when seeing things for what they are, instead of what we would like to excuse them to be. We truly have done things wrong for hundreds of years, if not longer. We can sit with anger, doubt, shame, blame, and guilt everybody and everything for what we see happening in our world today. You can contribute to the disaster or attempt to bring forth some much needed love and healing for yourself and so many others in the process. It is as simple as making some decisions about how you would like to be participating within your human experience. Once awakened to your true nature, you will naturally want to be the drive for the much needed change. This is proof with my writing process that began only after my spiritual awakening and connecting to my higher self. Having the enormous energy that I do, I had never really felt the true power of my being before my spiritual awakening. After this experience, I felt so alive and full of life for the first time. I had done many soul retrieval exercises after this understanding that I had been depleting my life force, energy, due to unhealed trauma. These exercises empowered me more and more. Understanding the responsibility of the knowledge acquired, I knew that I had better take all of this seriously. As I take in more knowledge, I must balance the flow of it by pushing it through me to others. To maintain a constant flow of learning for myself and others. Understand this one thing about me, if anything. When I write, I do not write as an inspiring author. I write as Tobi, being the simple person that I am, loaded with life experience. Writing has become a creative outlet for me to participate in my learning and actively be the much needed change for many. Not only for myself, but for all that can benefit from it. An unhealthy idea of life and yourself will definitely keep you shackled to the state of survival. You can come up with thousands of excuses as to why you are out of balance. Make some profound changes or you will remain that way. It is as simple as that. I hope that you now fully understand my point. If we all owned and took responsibility of maintaining the balance within ourselves, then you would live in a very different experience from the one that you are living now. You can't live your life to the fullest if you are not in harmony with it. I feel that it would be such a different world if we all had one common goal in life, to restore the much needed balance within ourselves and on earth. Life is meant to be lived filled with joy and love. If you're surviving within your existence, well, then you really can't feel those two things. These are not emotions. They're states of being and have a true impact on your life. If you are not projecting this as your give, well, then it definitely won't be your take either. Life is not meant to be hard, but it is also determined by what we create it to be. We have just created a hard existence for ourselves by adopting all of the wrong beliefs that have been handed so easily down by the generations before us without questioning any of it. Let's not blame them because they didn't know any better. Let's collectively be the much needed change to restore balance, to give the generations to come an opportunity for a full life by allowing them to remain true to their own essence of being. We have created an imbalance and are suffering as a collective. Then, with the right remedy, it can restore some balance to things. If we wait for it to happen, we are at an extreme loss. We have to change our ways of operating through our human existence, through our human experience, bringing joy back to the world. This will help restore so much balance. The remedy would be to share our experiences to the world to change the outlook of life. What has been previously shared through the generations proves to be disastrous to existence. Openly and lovingly seek ways to restore balance within your own beings will aid everybody around you. This will have a ripple effect into all that we do. This balance will assist those around you to seek balance for themselves. Be the guiding force of change, as nobody can do this for you. There is no prescription found at the pharmacy for this one. Sorry. I hate to be the one to tell you, but no doctor will be able to tell you where your imbalance stems from within. Don't delegate your well-being into the hands of others. Stop allowing the opinions that are based on a misjudgment of life to govern how you operate. This is something that you must figure out for yourself. If I had believed the opinions of specialists over the years, given into my diseases, I would not be alive to tell you about it today. Not one doctor could tell me that all of my health issues stemmed from the mismanagement of my own energy. Understanding this helps me to actively participate in my well-being. It is not enough to just have a strong, healthy body. You must maintain a strong, healthy being mentally, physically, and spiritually to achieve harmony between the three. Balance within the parts individually themselves and the harmony of the three as a whole of your being. If each part is not balanced within itself, you can't align and balance the three as a whole. This was my problem for years. Once I brought balance to all parts, it was then that I could align and balance my whole being. Once I achieved this state, it has been quite effortless to reach and maintain my neutrality. This, I believe, is the optimal state of being. This will open doors to things that you could never imagine being possible. Restoring harmony within you. Restoring harmony will open you up to the endless, infinite possibilities that are at your disposal as they lie within your true self. Understand how important it is to really take a clear look at who and what you have created yourself to be. Only you know your true ideas, thoughts, actions, habits, and perspective of things. Taking a look at how you truly see life and how you operate can assist in identifying the things that need changing. This is all a process. I don't expect you to be able to change everything all overnight, and that you will restore your well-being all at once. What I am hoping is that you primarily recognize the need for drastic change. If I have awoken something within you, feeling a need to change, well, then change will come. What you will find is not always pleasing to your mind or your heart, for that matter. A huge part of acceptance within yourself is actually accepting your life up until now for everything it has been. Love it all, whether good or bad. Understand it was all a part of getting you to where you are today. You have needed to live all of that. No, you have needed to live all that you have to open you up to greater levels of understanding. With each level comes so much truth of existence and a need for you to absorb it all before achieving a new level. In order to achieve and restore balance within your life, you must first do so within yourself. During this time, you really have to be gentle on yourself. Take the time you need to get through all of those eye-opening moments. Being hard on yourself is not the way to go, but is natural once you see that you've been mismanaging your own ability to reach your highest potential. Just self-love and forgive yourself along the way for treating yourself the way that you have. I say this from my own personal experience. I really didn't like what I saw when taking a good look. Instead of letting the realness drown me, I became my own life preserver through it all. When you don't resist, well, you float. So don't resist whatever bettering change it is that you must make for yourself. Just go with the flow and keep an empowering outlook of bringing healing forward as a leading aspect of your life. This changes life for the better, not only for you personally, but for all involved in your life as well. Trust that all of this gets easier the more you work on yourself. Be gentle with yourself when you are awakening to self-discovery. When you shift your focus to an inward one, there automatically is an awakening within as to what you need to heal. Sounds crazy, but if you eliminate all distractions and look within your energy, your being knows what you need to feel in order to heal and move on. Allow this process with no resistance, and it helps you to restore your balance within. Just be patient, loving, kind, and gentle with yourself as you are in a time of transforming your own energy. So chapter 5, Feel to Heal. I learned this lesson many years ago. You can't heal what you do not feel. That goes for anything in your life. Constantly bombarded with distractions, trained to think about all the wrong things, taught that happiness was a destination of adulthood after we had worked to achieve it. We live in such a wonderful world that has become quite a fearful experience. We can all make the necessary changes to better our lives and the lives of the generations to come. Too many have been so deeply conditioned and programmed that they no longer feel with their heart. They solely think, remaining not truly connected to their hearts, leaving them incapable of feeling. Thinking and feeling are two completely different things. You probably think that you feel, but I can assure you that while you are thinking, you are not feeling. It is one or the other. If you are led to think about what you are feeling, then again, you are not feeling. The minute that trauma or fear engulf your being at no matter what age, you disconnect a little more from your true nature. Over time, the accumulation of trauma, fear, guilt, shame, anger will shackle you to a state of survival. In this state, you're only feeling the effects of that state, nothing else. Flight, fight, or freeze will be the basis of all decisions or your determined outcomes. Our bodies naturally thrive to survive. So when you add some fear to that, well, you have just created stress, thrusting you into survival mode. Fear is a huge aspect of living in survival mode. As long as you have a fear of anything, you will be thrusted into this mode. Being there only creates a constant of that state. Always preparing yourself for the worst possible outcome of anything. Fear is normally based on the embedded emotional reactions to past experiences. You really can't fear what you don't anticipate. Really think about it. If you're fearing something that you are anticipating, then you are also creating the mode of surviving it. If you've created a stressful life and are allowing life to be like this, then you will never be able to really enjoy it. While stressed, you are incapable of feeling anything but that. Seriously, how do I know? Well, because I lived it. I changed it. And so can you. I'm the perfect example of someone who lived by stress hormones and was surviving life, never truly getting the most out of it until I allowed myself to feel with the intention of healing. I've done the work to now realize that we all can change. When once I believed that true change was not possible, I actually had to prove it possible for myself before attempting to awaken anybody to it. This has been my personal journey of my experience in life, which is incomparable to many. Where is your main focus? Do you maintain an inward or outward focus? The answer will tell you whether you are able to actually feel to heal. I say this because where you focus your attention is where you invest your energy. If you put all of your focus externally, then you are driven by all outwardly aspects of your life. This creates a distraction from your true feelings when constantly stimulated by that outward focus. This is what creates materialistic, selfish, self-centered people who are driven by outward success. These are often the ones seen as being the thinkers who are constantly achieving what they assume to be great success in their life by the accumulation of things. No matter what you accumulate, they're all just things. Only able to contain whatever value that you give them. Nothing more, nothing less. You remember them by their cost, not their value anyway. Think about the fact that nobody will tell you how much value something has to them, but they will be so quick to tell you how much they spent to buy it. Whatever it is, how different conversations would be if people realized this. Let me remind you, whatever you may accumulate in the way of things is only of your human experience here on earth. These things must be left to earth at your time of departure. Living with an outward focus driven by materialistic, generational, handed down expectations and personal things throughout life truly has created disaster for most. They have become so clueless to what really matters in life, as they have been so sucked into their illusion of having accumulating things. Of having and accumulating things. Soon realizing that they're surrounded by stuff that actually means nothing to them, holding no worth or value to them. They keep it anyway in the attempts of giving their life meaning. One day, realizing that it all really has no meaning when you have an inward focus. While living with the outward focus, you are truly incapable of feeling, as you have disconnected from feeling more and more as time passes, remaining within a thinking way of existence. When you begin to have an inward focus, you begin to detach yourself from all that is external, realizing that it doesn't hold any true meaning to your life. This is when the adventure of the true meaning of life begins. Your heart opens up to all that is truly contained within it, leading you to all that you are as a being, your truest nature. You slowly begin to trust yourself on different levels and trust life. You see that you are not what you have been made to believe, that you actually contain so much more. Self-love becomes naturally existent and flows as you start to embody a true love for your human experience. You start to see all of the goodness that life truly does have to offer. There is an infinite amount of possibility when you take an inward focus. You start to feel love for life in such a way that you want to heal all that you have been suffering while living in survival. This all comes from doing the work on yourself to see what matters. You matter. Your life matters. When you understand that you're an individual first, then maybe you will want to change your outward focus to an inward focus. The benefits of this change is that a love for life will be amplified. You'll become a genuinely grateful being, and you will grow to be abundant in all areas of your life with no effort at all. Yes, it's hard at first because it is not always pretty to take a look at how we've been operating as a human. Once I personally had changed my focus on life, everything in my life changed. I suffered for 46 years surviving life. This is until I reconnected with my heart and soul. This is what freed me from my suffering. It was not something that happened externally. Somebody externally had triggered this reconnection to my childhood heart, which forced me to heal a very traumatic event of molestation that occurred at a very young age, forcing me to disconnect from my heart as a young child. During my life, I had thought that I had dealt with it, not realizing that it was the trauma of this one event that had closed my heart to begin with. Being forced back to that traumatic memory, having the inward focus needed, forced me to heal it with the intent of, forced me to feel it with the intent of healing it. And I was successful. Understand that when you are feeling a memory of something, your body does not actually know if you're living it or if it's just a memory. Whatever emotions are attached to that memory is what you will feel during the attention to it. You will feel that biological reaction to whatever you're feeling within that emotion of it. This is why why this happens is very simple. Like I have explained to you, like I have explained, you give energy to your thoughts and ideas. I've come to understand through total allowance of feeling everything, that it is the energy that I give these emotions that create the reactions biologically. I have come to learn through experience not to give any life to any of my past memories and just allow them to be the lessons that they are meant to be. In order to achieve this, I had to allow myself to feel in order to heal. If I didn't allow myself to feel the emotions of all the past traumas, I could not comfort or heal myself of that trauma. We all carry so much buried trauma that is restricting us from our true natures. It was the case for me, so then it must be the case for many. I've come to understand that having an outward focus, living life, is more harmful than helpful to your being. You stay distracted from what truly is stopping you from your highest potential and the best version of yourself. All of it takes work. The way I see it is that there is nothing more important than investing in yourself and doing the necessary work to really figure out what needs to be healed within you. It is not always easy at first, only because our reality differs from the illusions that we have created. I must encourage you to be gentle with yourself during this whole process. I can assure you of one thing: you're worth it. Once you connect and open your heart, you will then be able to truly embrace all that life has to offer you. There are endless possibilities of what you can create once you change your focus. Changing to an inward feeling focus allows you to feel all that has been hindering you from reaching your highest potential. In feeling all of this, then you can heal it. You can't heal what you don't feel. I really want you to understand the depth of this by explaining one of my personal experiences with you. Many years ago, I was still surviving hell with my daughter on my hip, shackled into a toxic love relationship. My mother suffered a heart attack while we were in the country one Labor Day weekend. I won't go into the specifics of the trauma that induced the heart attack, but I will say this. I accompanied my mother to the hospital while she was having her heart attack. My stepdad drove, and I from the back seat, attempted to coach my mother to breathe and to hang on for dear life. Once we arrived at the hospital, she was immediately admitted into the trauma room, where she then only accepted oxygen. I watched my mother refuse all forms of intervention, aside from oxygen. That was the one thing that she would allow during her heart attack. I couldn't quite fully grasp why she had refused treatment, only accepting oxygen. When I asked her why she had done that, she simply explained it like this. She said that if she had allowed medical intervention with things such as painkillers or muscle relaxants, that she wouldn't have been able to feel when her internal pain had stopped. How brilliant of her. This opened my eyes to the hard fact that you can't heal what you don't feel. Start to trust yourself, and your body will follow. Quiet your mind and allow whatever your soul needs to bring up to the surface of your being. Deal with this head on, allowing yourself to feel anything that the soul knows. You must heal. Your mind may not know, but the energy of your being knows. You may think that you've gotten over whatever comes up, but you're wrong. If your soul is bringing it to light, then it remains in the shadows of your being. This work can't be done by maintaining an outward focus, distracted from your reality. Self-discovery allows you to feel with the intent to heal. Chapter 6, Rise Up. If you really want to rise up out of your suffering, then wise up to who you really are within your human experience. Throughout this book, you have asked yourself some pretty real questions, but now I really want you to take a look at your environment and the people that you associate with. You have had to wise up to your own frequency that you are putting out to the world. So let me ask you this. Who and what do you give your energy to? Are you still stuck within your old relationships filled with regret? Are you at the beck and call of everybody but yourself? Do you allow people to govern your time and emotions, for that matter? Who are your friends? What are they putting out into the world? Do you have any meaningful, inspiring, motivating conversations with any of them? Are your conversations full of gossip as you discuss everybody else instead of bettering yourselves? Does anybody around you have goals? Are they grateful, loving, happy people? Whether friends or family, anybody can be a toxic person. Have you been a toxic person to these people? Have you loved and genuinely cared for them? Do you appreciate all that you have around you? What do you surround yourself with? I could write a whole chapter on questions to ask yourself. I mentioned before that while you are raising your own frequency to one of love for yourself, not to take anything personal. I will stress this again to you. People that you have been friends with haven't necessarily woken up yet to their true nature as you have. They will in their own time, when their soul allows it. The great shift of energy right now will assist in the awakening of all humans as to their true natures. For now, you probably won't have any like-minded people in your circle yet. If you have just recently awoken, this happened to me. Let me explain to actually give you a better understanding of what I mean. I'm not a beginner with energy or the spirit world. I've been an empath all of my life, but not lived understanding it all as a whole until my breakthrough. This is not something that I came up with. These are my personal experiences of life. I've had to ask myself all of the hardest questions to really see what was happening around me. With every attempt at bettering my life, I allowed myself to fall victim to my negativity and the negativity of my environment. Just because you are changing, that doesn't mean that the people around you will right away. If they're operating through life doing what they were, then what can you expect? You can't try to convince anybody of a different way. Let me make that clear. It has to come from them. I fully understand that once you do the work and apply a new frequency to your life, that you will want to share it with all your friends and family. When you understand that there truly is a way out of suffering, you want to share it. This may not always be the best thing for you to do for yourself. Unless you have become solid in your footing and can't be swayed by the negative forces, the reaction of others may not be as welcoming to the changes. Remember that they themselves don't understand yet and must do some real self-discovery work in order to understand. I say this because as much as everyone knows that I speak energy all the time, they don't truly understand it until they awaken to their true nature. Fact of it is, I have met very few awakened beings. I can't force anybody to wake up as much as I would like to. This is on them whether they choose to stay living within the deep programming and conditioning. Nobody will hear what you are saying until they are ready to listen. That's just a fact. This is only going to frustrate you. So just don't bother. Don't waste energy trying to convince anybody of anything. Use that energy for yourself right now. Figure out whatever you have to within the goal of truly becoming the best version of yourself as humanly possible. Don't speak of your growth. Let it be seen by what you transform into. The butterfly doesn't engage with the external of its cocoon during the transformation process. When it is a full butterfly, well, then it opens to the world and flies. I like to remember this during any of my transforming moments in life. This is why I stress that nobody can do the work for you. You alone have to figure some things out for yourself, as I did. When you focus inwardly, opinions and acceptance of others no longer governs you. Finally realizing that you matter more than ever. I know that my brutal honesty doesn't allow for too much conversation in my life, which I truly think is a blessing. People who know me also know not to ask me what I feel about things. This is because I am brutally raw with serving truth, whatever I feel, with no filters. It is what it is. The complaining and self-pity really is not attractive for any conversation. I don't engage in meaningless talks filled with nonsense of any kind. I like to engage in motivating, inspiring, real conversations with people, or none at all. If you've been living as an ungrateful being all of your life, well then, it's getting hot in here this light. Sorry, guys. All right, if you've been living as an ungrateful being all of your life, well then, if you have been living as an ungrateful being all of your life, well, then that is how you are seen by others. Simple. If you have lacked self-love, that is what others see. When you start to make some real changes, nobody will understand. It is happening to you and not them. Your life before your awakening is no longer the life that you want for yourself if you fundamentally have changed who you are. Just because you feel different doesn't mean that others will see a difference or understand what is happening to you for that matter. Give others time to adjust to the new realized you. Before being empowered as I am now, I allowed and tolerated so much. The difference is that I feel everything. I know when I'm not being treated with the best intentions. Simple. I would allow people, being friends and family, to get away with so much. It isn't their fault, really. I was viewed by many as being a crazy, wild, out of hand drug addict for years. I self-induced painful addictions because I couldn't figure out how to cope. When I chose to stop all the drugs, well, I didn't tell anybody. They would have just figured that I would have started doing them again anyway. This is what I allowed for myself before beating death. Speaking of that, let me put it this way. When I was in total septic shock in the ICU on the edge of death, the microbiologist that had been following me for some time had assumed that it was my addiction to drugs that was the cause. This was not the case. But do you think for one moment that he or my family believed me? When I told them that before the... But do you think for a moment that he or my family believed me when I told them that? But even before the results were in? Point being, nobody believed me. Nor have they believed me any time I've said anything. Yet all believed their own opinions of me. This is why I say don't be so quick to go telling anybody that you're changing. Honestly, just don't bother. Say less. Do the work on yourself while opening yourself up to many past hurts to heal. You really don't need all of the opinions of others to deal with also. You will see who is toxic and who is not right away. But let me just say this. When you decide to rise up from your current level of frequency, you will slowly realize that nobody living with a higher frequency was probably around you to begin with. That is why you have maintained a lowered level, not maintaining meaningful relationships in your life. This happened to me. I woke up to see that I had less and less interactions with people. I began to slowly feel the benefit of not giving my energy away to these individuals that I had carried on my back for years. I had more time to be constructive instead of scattering my energies, which I did like handing out a popsicle. I put so much into everybody around me, trying to install a better way in them, leaving myself empty. I have done that for years, depleting my own life force, not even realizing what I was doing. I thought this was all a part of being a good friend. Now that I know how to say no, I see that I didn't have any real friends to begin with. The same people that I was investing my energy into only cared for their own need of having me around. I always brought good to any table, so why not have me around? It doesn't really matter to another what you need as a person. Until you are clear with that yourself and set boundaries. I see things very differently from how I used to. I have come to realize that no person is more important than I am. Nobody is going to love, respect, motivate, inspire, or challenge me more than I can. You have to be your own best friend. Friends are great if they're motivating you in the right way. They're not friends if they induce any kind of suffering to your being. Nobody is going to do for me the way that I can do for myself. It is what it is. Who really knows you anyway? We're forever changing, never staying the same. We're new individuals every morning because you're not the same as you were the day before. I can say that nobody really knows me. I won't allow that. Simply because that's private to me. The universe knows me, and that's all that I care about. I let the world see me as the simple person that I am. My energy of my being matches very much to my words. Nothing more, nothing less. I just want to encourage everybody to get to a point where you don't have to hide behind all of the different masks that you've created for yourself. I don't change according to anything. I am who I am. Simple. If somebody can't handle reality, that's not my problem. I'm a loving, kind, caring, compassionate person by choice. It's all a choice. I see things for what they are and still choose to infuse as much love possible into whatever the situation may be. I feel like it has to do with so many stuck in a lowered frequency. People are walking around absolutely clueless as to who they really are, never even wanting to reach their highest potential. Like I said before, if I had one button to awaken everybody as to their truest nature, I would. I would gladly deal with the consequences of it. I really hope that you understand how important it is to wise up to who you are as a person and your own frequency that you're emitting out to the world. Your truth will be different from mine, as it is unique to your experience. I'm still learning about myself daily. I understand my give and take of life now more than ever. Understand that everything you put your energy into is what you are taking back from life. This is so important to realize that you are actually creating what you take out of life. If you're feeling sick, tired, unmotivated, well, change it. Easier said than done does not work for me or for anybody. It all starts with a choice. Get fed up with not having a proper level of energy to function, realizing that you are heading to one thing, living this way. Is that what you want as your obituary? That you chose to give up? Or would you rather something grand be said about how you were loving? Oh, wait. Hold on. Is that what you want as your obituary? That you chose to give up? Or would you rather something grand to be said about how loving you were? Get real with it all. Do the work needed to raise your frequency by changing your thoughts to start. That will produce different results. Understanding energy will help you restore the much needed harmony within your being. Allow yourself to go with the flow of the forces within and around you. Stay neutral to whatever is happening as it is all meant to be. Don't resist anything. Don't block anything. Allow it all to happen with the natural flow of it. Understanding that you don't have to react to anything when being neutral. Everything is energy, no matter what it is. See things for what they are and not what you would like them to be. This all takes work. You really have to make it a priority to yourself. Nobody will do that for you. If you have to, write down a weekly journal. Write down a weekly journal of how you've been feeling throughout the week. Write down any interactions with people and see whether you walked away feeling empowered or drained. Write down the things you do. This will really help you take a detailed account of where it is that you invest your energy. Realize that you should never help when your own cup is not overflowing. You must take care of your energy first. Once you do, you have just allowed a joyful existence to flourish within your being. When changing your energy to a higher frequency of vibration, emitting love and gratitude unto the world, life will get easier to live. We are living in very hard times with a lot of negativity, but that doesn't mean that you can't choose to live differently. Show love and gratitude in all that you do, and you won't have to wear a mask for any. That is why I don't need a mask and can embrace who I am. I understand that what others do is not a reflection of me. If I choose to be around such people, well, that's on me, not them. Maintain an inward focus, realizing that you contain all within you. Be gentle with yourself as you allow the soul to bring up whatever you must feel in order to heal. You really don't and won't understand the depth of this until you silence your mind and allow the process. Trust this process as your soul knows the way. There is so much hidden in the depths of the darkness until the light shines on it. Take it slowly. Don't overwhelm your being by thinking about any of it. Feel it. Accept it. Infuse love and light into it. And release it. Remember, the soul won't show you everything at once. So understand this is an ongoing process. Take the time that you need to fully heal. Nothing in your life should be of greater importance to you than your well-being. If you think differently, well, then you had better get your priorities straight, because nobody will do this for you. Understand that change is good. Don't be afraid of not knowing. Be excited by new discoveries. You'll never again be the same once you embark on the mission of self-discovery. You're worth it. Do the work on yourself. It will open you up to self-love and gratitude for life. Experience all that you can. Actually, experience all that you can offer you by choosing. So, experience all that life can offer you by choosing to wise up in order to rise up. So, wise up to rise up, it's a must. If I can do it, so can you. I love you all. Tobi. All right, so the special note is this. A huge thank you for every single person along my path. Whether you know it or not, you were essential in my growth and learning. I haven't always been easy to be around when going through all of my own suffering. But you have all made a positive impact on my life. And when I see it, a positive impact on my life, when I see it for what it is. Love and healing to all. Hoping that my experience has helped you to see things a little differently. Do the work. You matter. You're worth it. Love you all. Tobi. Copyright 2021. Tobi Staples. All rights reserved. Guys, this is my third book. So, I hope that in coming out and reading these books, it's assisted you guys to change your perspectives about your own beings. Because that's what it's really about. You know, and we all get stuck in what we've had to live. Well, we can all get unstuck just as easily by choice. You know? And I encourage you guys all to do it. Love yourselves enough to do it, because you all matter. And nobody can love you the way that you love yourself. And nobody can make you a priority the way you can do for yourself. And you need to depend on your own being before you depend on anything else in this life. So depend on yourself to be okay. Because believe it or not, you are the one getting in the way of your balance by the things you're thinking, saying, and doing, and your belief systems about what's going on. So it's a simple change, but you have to be able to be aware and accepting in order to change it. So you got to put your focus inwardly, self-awareness. When you see why you do the things you do or you feel the way you do, it's easy to correct it. But don't sit there in your own state of confusion, just amplifying that by useless, endless thoughts or questioning about things that are not relevant to today and who you are. Don't do that to yourself. All right? Guys, I love y'all. I'm grateful for you guys all coming out and listening to the books. I really just hope that it helped everybody, because that's the truest intention. It really is. I know what suffering is. I lived it all my life. So this is why I don't suffer now, no matter the conditions of what I'm living. There's nothing in my life that can happen now that is worse than anything I've ever lived, no matter what it is. So, guys, I love y'all. Have a great night. Peace.